back in the day, you used to come out of your habitat here and get into this hallway and then get 2 frames per second as you like very slowly made your way to the stairs and tried to go down, and usually got halfway down and then froze, and then got halfway and froze, and then got halfway and froze. But now, look at this. I can run up and down these stairs like a mad person, and there's no freaking performance loss. So people who say that Star Citizen hasn't come a long way, look how I can go down these stairs now. Hello, fellow citizens. My name is Rob, and welcome to another video in our Star Citizen tutorial series. Today, we are going to be talking about tips and tricks that will help you out in the Star Citizen universe. So, let's get going. Alright, so the first thing is more of a tip than a trick, but if you hold the F key, which brings up your little interaction crosshair thing, you hit right mouse button, it brings up your quick, I think they call this thing the inner thought menu. I just say it's like the quick select menu type thing, right? So there's a bunch of actions you can do in here, including equipping weapons and a bunch of other stuff. Now, there are better shortcuts for equipping weapons, but like if I go to weapon selection, you can see that the only one I can equip right now is the Pyro multi-tool, and I don't have anything else that I can use inside the Armistice Zone. But you can click on that and equip things. You also have some other things in here. Don't click that because you'll die. Prone, wipe helmet visor, and it also tells you what the quick shortcut keys are. So if you don't want to open up the whole options menu and look through a bunch of stuff to see like what do I need to press to go prone, that's right there. It'll tell you a bunch of all these things. But we have that. We have emotes in here, so if you want to know how to get to the emotes, that's the way to go. And then item actions, unequip helmet, flashlight, weapons, Moby glass. So, good thing to know. Sometimes useful, sometimes not. If you do select an action, it shows up on the quick select right here. So you would just need to, hit F and right click and click on one of these, and it just recalls it. So the last 4 actions that you've completed will always show up on that wheel. Which brings me up to a few shortcut keys that you should know. If you have your weapon out, normally if you're outside of an Armistice Zone, you can hold down 1 to bring up your weapon wheel, and you can select your weapon or holster your weapon through that. If you're inside an Armistice Zone, it doesn't really let you, but you can hold R, which is also your reload button, to put your weapon away. So, neat little shortcut there. Also, with the health guns, you can hit B to target yourself, and obviously that doesn't do anything because I'm not injured. Now, does this work all the time? I've had some issues with the healing guns. Hopefully they'll be fixed in the next update or something, where it just wouldn't heal me even if I had like 2% health left. It was like, nope, you're no injury detected. So I don't know what that's about, but you can always use the med pens, which is C, to bring up your med pen injectables and inject yourself with those. Those seem to work pretty standard and regularly. Alright, this one is an oldie, but a goodie, and a lot of people still don't know about it. But if you tap F, you can actively use certain things without having to bring up your full interaction button click, right? So normally you would hold F, you would click on use right here, but I can just walk up to this panel, tap F, and it's good to go. And you can use that on pretty much everything. Let me go ahead and select the ship here. Let's go. So airlock door is in cycle status. Tap F. And it opens. Walk up to the cycle. Tap F. Cycles. So you can see that this is pretty handy for just getting around and things like that. Oh, looks like somebody pissed the station off. I hear gunfire. Alright, so this next one is something that they kind of don't tell you about, and it may be frustrating in certain circumstances, so I wanted to bring this up fairly early on so y'all can get the message. But if you are on a screen that may have multiple things, sometimes the options here get pushed off the screen. So you can see that I'm at the mining center, and I can see miscellaneous, I can see clothing, personal weapons, undersuits, armor, but where is the mining stuff? I'm at a mining deck and there's no mining stuff. So is it broken? No, you just have to hover over these options and use the middle mouse button, and it moves the options over. So now I can click on utility and I can get to all the mining options. This happens on a couple places, so mostly mining stations where there's a bunch of this stuff, and also if you go to the shop in Hurston, where they should have a bunch of mining stuff, but all you see is this same kind of thing. You have to scroll over with your middle mouse button scroll wheel to get to those other options. So they're not missing, they're just kind of hidden off the screen. So very important to making sure you get the most out of your shopping experience, or you don't go all the way somewhere and get frustrated because you think that they either removed those options or there's a bug going on. Okay, no, don't go back up the ladder. Oh yeah, ladders used to kill people, so I'm glad they fixed that. So let's go ahead and jump out into space, because why not, right? And this will be a couple tips right here. So let's say that you accidentally fall out of your ship. Oh no, I fell out of my ship. And now it is gone because it is quantum traveling very far away. So your first inclination might be, shit, I'm stuck in space. I better call somebody, or I'm going to have to kill myself, and I'm going to drop all my gear in space, because when I die, I drop my gear. Well, I don't know how long this tip is going to hold up, but if you log out and back in, you will respawn with all of your gear. So let's take a look. I do have arms on, I've got this multi-tool on, I've got these legs, and I've got this Morningstar helmet, right? So we're going to go ahead, we're going to exit the main menu, and then we're going to load back in. Alright, and we are back at the last place to be docked, which is Port Olisar. And you can see, well, you can't see because this room is too small. You can see that I still have my legs, my arms, my multi-tool, and my helmet on me, so I didn't lose anything, and I'm back at the station. So with the new medical gameplay, you now have a home station where all of your gear is stored, and also a resurrection location. So if you are on a planet that takes forever to get from your habitat to the spaceport and back, you might want to consider changing your regeneration location. So I am on Crusader L1. If I go over to one of these panels that say regeneration and I click, I can transfer my imprint to this clinic. So my primary residence facility is Orson General. So if I spawn there, like let's say I died right now, just randomly or whatever, or I walked out without my helmet on by accident, or some other such hazardous death experience, whatever. Let's say that I do not want to end up back at Orison every single time and have to go down the elevator from my hab, run to the tram, wait for the tram to get to the spaceport, run up the elevator to the spaceport, run to the next location, etc., spawn my ship, wait till I'm at 150,000 kilometers to quantum travel out of the atmosphere. You get the picture. It's a hassle. So sometimes setting your regeneration point to another location where you can just go and spawn a ship and get back to your maybe primary residence orbital. So for Orison, it's Port Olisar. I could just spawn a ship here, fly back to Port Olisar, re-get my armor and everything else, and be good to go. And you can do this multiple times. Let's say you're running missions in Hurston and you don't want to go all the way back to Crusader. If you die, you can go to one of the medical clinics in Hurston, at maybe the orbital station in Hurston or HRU-1 or one of the other locations there. Transfer your imprint, and then that makes sure that if you die, you end up back at this station, not your home planet. So that's all I wanted to talk about there. I did talk about that in the new player start video, but I figured it was a good little tip to bring up here as well. All right, let's talk about missions and reputation. I just want to touch on this quickly because it's not that big of a thing, but if you're new to the game and you're looking at your missions and you're like, God, all these pay so little money, what the hell? Well, that's where your reputation comes into play. So as you do missions with different people, you can also do missions for like Miles Eckhart or Clovis Darnley, and as you rank up, you get access to better paying jobs. So let's look at box missions, for example, which used to be the worst thing you could possibly do in the universe. So once you get your initial rank for delivering packages, you can see that most of these are 8,000 aUEC. So you might be going, it's just not worth it for 8,000 aUEC. But once you grind up, you get access to the next level, which is this package delivery mission for 45,000 aUEC. And as you rank up again, you get even higher stuff. So these are pretty stupid simple. You go to a security post, you grab 3 packages, you load it up, you go to take it to Crusader L5, you drop it off. So, and if you have a bunch of friends with you, like 2 friends, they can carry packages too. Otherwise, it's not that hard to get done. This one's kind of a bitch because Crusader L5 means that you have to land on the station and run back and forth from the docking bay. So you might want to look for one that doesn't involve you going there or has a drop-off that's on a planet location where you can just run back and forth from your ship. And obviously, if you have a nice ship or a small ship where you can just, drop them into your cargo bay and hop in the flight seat and go, like the Nomad is a great ship for that because you could just drop stuff into the little back area and then hop back in and off you go. Same thing with bounty missions, right? You're going to start out with low-ranked targets, which are 5,000 aUEC, and as you rank up to like medium-ranked targets, you get 7,500. High-ranked targets were at 11,250. Then very high-ranked targets are even more. You also get these group warrants. So this one's 17,500. Bounty issued. Like this is a group warrant for a medium rank target. So you just have to kill 3 targets. You get 26,250, and that's at an MRT level. So high rank group targets are even more. So it is worth doing some of these missions, and always make sure to equip a call to arms no matter what you're doing, so you can get the extra UEC for killing, bad guys. So let's talk about ship choice for a moment. One of my org mates brought this up the other day, and I thought it was important to share. But when you're purchasing ships, and this has to do more with ships for real cash than it does for buying ships in the PU, because you can always get something else, or you can just go off of what the kind of meta is right now in the persistent universe, and it's probably going to get wiped anyway or whatever, not right? So if you're buying ships with real money, you really want to consider what the ultimate goal of a ship is, right? And not just look at its statistics for the moment, because that stuff can change, but the use of the ship may not. So if you're looking at, a dedicated cargo hauler versus like a MSR, MSR can hold a good amount of cargo, but what is its use in the PU? So if smuggling is something that you want to eventually get into, then that would be a better ship than, let's say, a Hercules or a Connie or something of the sort, right? Whereas, you can fit more stuff into something else if you're just doing cargo. You also have the added bonus of the things that, other ships can do. So, again, with the MSR, it's also built for scanning. It has a dedicated scanning relay for mapping out waypoints or discovery whenever that gets put in the game. And it also has an entire computer system for transport of data. So, well, you might be saying, oh, it doesn't hold as much cargo as some of the other things. It does offer a unique kind of gameplay once those systems come online. So you want to look at what a ship can do down the line as opposed to what a ship can do now. Also, once cargo loading becomes a thing where you have to either load your own cargo or pay dock workers, in a sense, to load your ship, it may not be worth bringing out your C2 to load up smaller freight at smaller ports than it would be to pull out something like a 400i for a small cargo run or something else that has a lower cargo. So you may be looking at ships and saying, oh, I already have what's a good size cargo thing? Let's say you have a Connie, the one that does the cargo. I don't ever remember their stupid names. Taurus. Let's say you have a Constellation Taurus, and you want to CCU it to the C2 Hercules, because the Hercules has more cargo storage. So what am I going to do with the Taurus anyway? I might as well just go with max cargo. Well, this ship may be very valuable. This ship may be very valuable down the line when you don't want to pay for, or you don't want to wait, or you don't want to hand load the amount of stuff that a C2 can hold. So having things of differing sizes might be good down the line. So just something to think about, kind of a tip from a friend. So with the advent of the new inventory system and the fact that you can now drop all of your gear on death, thus costing you money and having to rebuy weapons, armor, all that stuff, and for the fact that, sometimes you have a weapon that may be from Hurston, or you have some armor that may be from New Babbage, and you don't really want to run all over the place gathering a bunch of stuff, or you don't want to store up, tons of different armor sets in different stations all over the place in case you die. It is important to consider the gear for the role you're playing. So if you're outfitted for full bunker missions, let's say, you might not want to keep that gear on if you're doing bounty missions. So my tip for this, and I do have the pink Hello Kitty armor set on. Yes, it is awesome. Is to unequip your gear before you go out flying. You don't need a backpack and all the other stuff. You don't need guns and all that good stuff for doing bounty missions. So, your ship might hit an asteroid, and then you're pretty much, all this armor is gone. And I have tried to go back out to where I crashed into an asteroid and find my stuff, only to find that my gear has glitched inside the asteroid and there's no way to get it back. So it's not that hard as it is. Hopefully they will add a quality of life where you can just unequip all, or save certain armor sets or something like that. But for now, you can kind of drag everything with everything attached to it. So if I drag this backpack off, it's got the weapons attached to it. So I can just drag that into my inventory. And if I go back to my armor now, and I find that backpack, and I put it back on, it doesn't have any of those weapons on it. But you can drag all of them, and they are in your inventory somewhere, right? Same thing with your pants. If I take the pants off, it drags the weapon with it and stores it. So that's a quicker way of unequipping everything. If you unequip your chest armor, sometimes it does unequip everything else with it. Remember, you still need a helmet, but you do not need a fancy helmet for that. And if you're doing bunker missions and you're bringing along a backpack, you can do what I do and just gank a bunch of helmets off of everybody, so you have a bunch of backups and a bunch of flight suits. So we'll just drop this cheapo helmet on, right? And then we can go fly a couple bounty missions with no gear equipped. Now, just to make sure, right, if your home base is on like Orison and you're going to be flying out to Hurston, and then you might do a couple bounty missions at Hurston or something, you might want to take your gear with you to Hurston, then unequip it at one of those stations, and then run a bunch of bounty missions, and then maybe come back and re-equip and do some bunkers or some packages or some other stuff. But if you're just going to be flying around, I wouldn't take all your gear with you. So it's important to consider that when you're taking a mission or you're looking through the missions on what you're going to be doing in terms of what you're also going to be bringing with you. So that's it for this video. If you have any tips and tricks you found that make life easier in the verse, go ahead and share those in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. It really does help with the algorithm and other things. So I will hope that you'd be interested in that. If you want to always be notified whenever I drop a video, don't forget to click on the little bell icon. That'll let you know when there's something new to watch. Otherwise, I will see you out here in the verse. Whee! Stay safe, my friends.